Okay, guys, now I'm back, and we're going to talk about laying this first track. I say first track because it's just, we want to lay the first set of stones, the first row of stones. So I've already prepped my tumbler. As you can see, it's good and roughed up all the way around. I've prepped it real good. So I have my tumbler, I have my crystal katana. I use this, I go back and forth between this and sometime I'll use one of my wax pencils, but for today I'll just use the crystal katana. And I'm going to use this crystal glaze glue. So far so good with the crystal glaze glue. Most of the time I would usually use liquid fusion, but this is slowly becoming my favorite glue. So as you can see, the top is a precision tip already on it, so it's not like you have to go out and buy a precision tip glue bottle. This one has it already, and of course it has the pin that you put back in once you're finished. So glue, let's say your glue flow is very important. I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as possible, well, slowly as possible. Trying to see if I can. Your glue flow, you want to make sure you get your glue on here. So I do like a little thin strip. Some people will do a dot by dot. I'm not that person. I will do a thin strip. And what I do is I put my stones on right on the edge of this tumbler, and then I'll show you what I do after I get all the stones on. And with this, I'm just kind of pushing them on quickly because this glue dries kind of quick, so I don't have that much working time. So that is a good thing too. And what I'm going to do is take my rhinestones, the tumbler, and I'm going to put this on this desktop so you can see that it's flush with the desktop, so that way I have a perfect line when I'm finished. And it's very important that you get that first line just right, because if you don't, the pattern of your whole tumbler will be off. So it's very important that you get this first line right the first time. You got to get it right the first time. And I explained this in my ebook. It goes into details about laying your stones, the different patterns that you can use when designing your tumblers. So I'm just kind of like putting these on real quickly because, like I said, this glue, wrong color, doesn't give me a lot of working time. Okay, almost there, almost there. And laying the glue. Let me go on around with this. Let me take it all the way around so I can finish this first line. Okay. Let's put this. Oh, and the stones that I'm using are the AB crystals. This is one of my favorites. I'm partial to this one because, you know, with AB it picks up, it's like the iridescent colors. It picks up all the colors around it. And I just absolutely love this stone. Okay. And so now I'm almost, and one thing about these stones when you're putting them on, pay attention to your stones. because depending upon the glue that you use, sometimes the stones can shift and you'll have a gap in your stones and you really won't even know where it came from. So pay attention to your stones. Okay, like these kind of shifted. Of course they're going to shift when you're putting them on. Okay, I feel like I can push this back a little bit and get one more stone in there, and I did. Okay, so as you can see, I have the stones all on this. This is my first row. Okay, it's the first row, and as you can see, some of them are not even, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this tumbler down up against the surface, and what I like to do is just go back and just push my stones down and make sure that they're flush with the surface, so that way I have a clean edge. And this way you can go back and look and see if any is off, or if you have any that's overlapping. If you find a space, you have time to correct it right here. But what I'm doing is gently taking the stones and pushing them against this surface because I want a straight edge. Okay. And like I say, with this, you have to make sure your stones are flush, so that way you have a good clean edge. And so what I'll do now is I'll let this sit for about maybe 30-40 minutes because I want the glue to cure just a little bit, so this first row will be secure. Because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the next row of stones and I'm going to take these rhinestones and I'm going to put it, we're going to do the stack. And this is the honeycomb method where you stack them in between the previous stones. So that's going to be my next, oops, got a little glue on it, the next row. But for now, I'm just going to let it cure. And also, to another thing, when working with your tumblers, let gravity be your best friend. When you're working with your tumblers, I always tell people, work with them upside down, shall I say. This is the mouth of the tumbler. So you're going to stack your tumblers on here. When you're working with glue and you're doing your tumblers like this, you risk the tumblers, not the tumblers, but you risk the stones sliding while you're trying to work like this. No, work like this and let gravity be your friend. Let them stack neatly against one another. So that's how you lay your first track, your first row of stones. That's how you lay it. And I'll be back. I'll upload more videos about the bling process. And like I said, my ebook is coming out December 1st. It will be available on my website, www.shines.org. And I also have classes on there as well, but the ebook will be out, and it's a step-by-step, and we go through quite a bit of things in the ebook. So, all right, happy blinging.